Alrighty.
All right, I am recording. Welcome, Liz, and
No
anybody.
Tanya tonight?
Not yet. She may come on. I didn't talk to her today. So welcome to Liz and anybody that ends up watching this at some point in time. So I'm going to jump right in so that I can go watch TV because, priorities. A couple quick things I want to go over before I get into the main topic for this call, which is Shakeology. The first bit of important information is tomorrow, Clean Week comes out. And there's an FAQ that you can find in your back office. It's going to give you more details. But more importantly, tomorrow night, Carl Deichler, our CEO, is going to be doing, he calls it a surge. So he'll be doing a Facebook Live event where he's primarily talking about Clean Week and how to kind of capitalize on it and utilize it to your advantage to make your life easier and better for your customers. And I posted an image of that on our team page so that you can see the time and where to find it. My plan is to also share it into the page so you can see what he has to say, but there's going to be some really good information there. The other thing, I posted a video in our team page today. On the 9th of October, a new back office is going to be launched. So where we go to find stuff is actually going to be streamlined and made nicer and neater and easier with better resources for us, and it's going to be easier to find that stuff. So there is about, I think it's like a 13-minute video that kind of walks you through what the changes and updates are going to look like. And that's on the 10th, on the 9th of October, which is awesome. And like I said, that's already posted on our team page. But there's a couple things I want to share with you. First, let me make my screen big. Screen share. Bada boom. Okay, so a couple things that I want to share with you guys real quick. When I say that you can find this stuff in your back office, when you go into your account and you go into your online office, on the right-hand side here, there's always information and updates. But you can also click on this button and view archived stuff. So if you're only checking once a week or so, you're going to want to go and check that archive section a little bit more regularly to see if there's been a bunch of stuff that you missed out on. Because there's cool things that they're posting, and that's how I found out about the new site video. The other thing I want to show you about Clean Week, because I already took a peek, and it's going to be awesome. This is also what I'm going to be talking to you about Shakeology. When you go to your Coach Online office, I want you to go to this sales and marketing section and go to product toolkits. Now, as you guys are starting to learn the business and you guys are starting to try to familiarize yourself with everything that we have, this is going to be a great place for you to go, especially if you have kind of questions or you're not totally sure about a particular program or how to talk about a particular program. This is where you're going to find it all. Like if somebody says, well, what's the difference between this Daily Sunshine and Shakeology? Certainly you guys can ask me, but the reality is I'm not always going to be available, and you need to be able to figure out how to find this. Especially as our team grows, I need to make sure that you all know where to find this stuff. So right in here is going to be every program and product with information. So what I want to show you with Clean Week, which is really cool, it's already in here for us. There's the training guide, which is going to give you some facts, some talking points. There's a Shakeology guide because part of the kit, if they purchase it, is going to include some Shakeology. But there's already a challenge group guide. So guys, I actually already took a peek. It's laid out really neat. It has some videos that you can share. It's got a pre-week, so kind of a prep week, and it's got all the information that you need. All you have to do, so you go into your, let's see, so if you do a prep week, it's got literally, you can cut and paste and download and do the things. Always obviously look at it first because you may want to change some stuff around, make it more your language. But I glanced through this real quick earlier, and it's on point. And if you've got people the Clean Week information that's going to include the Shakeology, this is going to be awesome because it's going to gear them up for a fantastic week. It's going to walk them through how to prepare themselves so that when they get their stuff and they start, they're going to get good results. They have this, guys, for every single program. So if you're like, hey, I'm going to do this T25 as a challenge group, there's a challenge group guide in there. Now, I don't typically use it. I'll take some stuff here and there. But as you're getting started and you're looking for content and information, hey, Tanya, what's up? As you're looking for content and information, make sure you go on in here. Tanya, I'm going to catch you up real quick. I posted on our team page, Carl is doing a surge tomorrow on Clean Week where he's going to go Facebook Live and specifically talk about how to leverage that program. Also, the new Coach Online Office, not the Team Beachbody site that customers use, but our online office is going to be launched on the 9th. And I posted a video on our team page that'll walk you through changes and what that's going to look like. And then I was just showing Liz and then anybody who watches, the Clean Week Challenge Group Guide is already in our back office to be utilized. And I took a peek and it's actually really good. So yeah, that's the main stuff. Also, I'm going to post mid-October, I think it's the 14th and 15th, and I'll mention it again next week. There's a double time sneak peek, and it's 2 days. So I don't know if it's going to be 2 workouts or if it's just 1 workout twice. But Liz, that'll be good for you. You get the kids involved just to kind of show people like, hey, there's this fun thing you can do, family friendly, blah, blah, all the goods. I may have to borrow somebody's kid to play a game. I don't know. But that'll be coming out, and that program launches on the 1st of November. There'll be a chance to start to get some video of you guys doing it, start talking about it, and saying, what you saw. So that's all we got so far, Tanya. You didn't miss much.
Cool.
So, let me get rid of that. Leave that. Sorry, I'm playing with a new blog site. Okay, so the other stuff that I wanted to talk about. So tonight I wanted to talk about Shakeology. Now again, guys, it is so vitally important that we learn about Shakeology. It's not enough to just say, hey, this stuff is awesome, you need to drink it. Because the reality is all of our competitors who pretty much have crap out, all this Plexus stuff, all this Herbalife, all these other products don't compare to Shakeology, but their people are more knowledgeable about their product, and so they're willing to share more about it. So we need to make sure that we're educating ourselves. We don't need like all of the back history and all of the sciencey stuff to get people interested and want more information, but we need to know enough to say, okay, like that's cool, but I just want you to understand X, Y, or Z. So when you go into your Coach Online office, same thing, you're going to go to sales, the sales and marketing, and the product toolkits. And let me just, I'm going to mute you guys just for a little bit because there's a little bit of background noise that I'm hearing. And it could just be my stuff. So in the Shakeology, first I want to show you in here, there's all the information that you need to know about Shakeology, and they lay it out amazing for you. I want to show you the things that I utilize the most. Now there's going to be training information for you, marketing materials, how to post on social media. The things I use the most are the videos. There's a new one out that is not in here that I have, I found on YouTube, and I'll pop it in for us on our page. I don't know why it's not on here. It is on the homepage of our sites, but it's about a 3-minute one with Isabel Deichler. So I use the videos a lot, and I also use, of course, it's going to hide from me. I sometimes use the sales brochure, but where is it? I use this Dear Doctor letter all the time, and I want to show you guys why. One, if you have somebody that's taking this information to their doctor, give them this to take to their doctor. It gives basically all the information that they need, and it's written to a doctor, and it says what's in everything. But the other part about this particular document, it includes, as you scroll, all of the information for every single flavor, vegan and non-vegan. So instead of having to like look up each individual one, this is my go-to document that I share with people. And I encourage them to bring it to their doctor if they have any questions, issues, concerns, and whatnot. So that's the Dear Doctor letter, and that's in there. Now, when we get our new site capabilities on the 9th, in the search window, you'll be able to type Dear Doctor letter, and it'll come up, where now you sometimes kind of have to scroll for it. Excuse me. So I use that one all the time. Of course, there's the clinical trial information, the benefit surveys. Like that's all good information to be aware of and know where it is, because depending on who you're talking to, it might be valuable for them to have that information. Somebody like me, I don't need all that information to make a decision. So as you're asking your prospects questions and as they're having questions for you, know what information you want to give them. If I just bombarded you with a benefit survey and a doctor letter and clinical trials and videos, you're going to be like, dude, I don't want your product. That's too much information. It's information overload. So you just kind of want to get a feel for what your people want to know. But you need to be aware of what's in here so you can provide them with the tools and the backing. The other one that I use all the time, and it's going to escape me right now, this one, this ingredients and benefits chart. This is the one that you guys are going to want to I actually keep a screenshot of this in my phone under favorites. And there's a couple reasons. One, I share this with people when they ask me like, okay, well, what's the deal with Shakeology? Like, why is it so good? This is the snapshot. This tells you exactly what's in it, but this column, what it does for your body, why it's important. And it's 1 page, quick shot, super easy. So again, I keep this one right in my phone. And when I talk to people, the things that I tell them, because a lot of these competitors out there will have a prebiotic, right? They're like, oh, well, I have this prebiotic. I had a girl tell me I take a prebiotic. I'm like, well, that's great. But then do you also have to take a separate probiotic and a digestive enzyme and a this and a that and a whatever? Start adding up the cost when people say Shakeology is so expensive. Well, it may seem expensive, but when you consider there's prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes. And then I don't even say adaptogen, herbs, and botanicals and all that. I said, and then my lingo is it's got the right protein and the right fiber. So along with, again, the things that I personally highlight, it's got pre and probiotics, digestive enzymes, the right kind of fiber that your body needs, and the proteins that it needs in order to help it function properly. And because of all the superfoods in it, mixed in with all of those properties is why you feel fuller longer. You have more energy. It curbs your cravings. You see how quickly and easily all of Shakeology was just explained in a couple sentences. So you start to figure out the lingo that works for you and your people. But this is key right here. When people are like, well, what's in it? Well, why? What is it that makes me, have more energy and whatnot? And so this will explain it a lot better. Why are digestive enzymes important? Well, it's because it's going to help your body break down the food into the nutrients so that it's absorbed properly. Without those, you're not absorbing it into your body properly, right? So these are the kinds of things that you're going to want to have a little bit more knowledge and information on. I'm going to unmute you guys. Did that all make sense? I know that's not necessarily new to you, Tanya. You've been on a couple of these. Was that at all helpful, Liz?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I needed, actually, is
Okay.
where to find stuff. So that's perfect.
Now, because you guys are drinking Shakeology, your story is important and what you get from it. And I tell people all the time, I say, look, for me, Shakeology, and I say it helped me feel fuller longer. It helped me have some energy. It helped fight my cravings. I said, that's what it did for me. I have friends who it did help lower cholesterol, help lower blood pressure, because it has been proven to do that. So depending on who I'm talking to, I'll also, if it's somebody that's going to be important information for, I do let people know, hey, it's been proven to do this and this and this. And I let them know that information. Something else that we want to be really aware of and know that we can find it, because you're going to have a lot of people. It's amazing how many people. I know why now, when I was doing some research for another project. All right, so you guys know that like 1 in 10 people are diabetic. Did you know that crazy stat?
I knew it was bad.
But 3 out of 4 are pre-diabetic.
Jeez.
I'm sorry, 1 out of 3 are pre-diabetic, but 3 out of 4 don't know they are. So our country's in a world of hurt that we know about and we don't know about. And so a lot of people, that's a huge issue. They already know they're diabetic or they know they're pre-diabetic and they say, well, I'm diabetic, I can't do this. And I'm like, actually, let's talk about that for a second. So Shakeology is low on the glycemic index. Now, that's something that I just didn't magically know. I went and found out when somebody started asking me who was diabetic way back in the day. And I was like, well, what do? I didn't have a coach that gave me information, so I Googled it. I'm like, is Shakeology good for diabetes? Now, you're going to see all people's personal answers, but there's actually an FAQ in there that talks about Shakeology, its glycemic index, and it also gives like the clinical trials and what they did to prove it. But I have a woman that just recently asked, and I said, actually, it's great for its low glycemic index. which is something to me that means nothing. I don't understand enough science stuff for it to matter to me. But somebody with diabetes, that's a big important thing for them to know. And so I was able to say, you know, our nutrition plan isn't diabetic specific. However, it's real whole foods that you can fit your diabetic diet into. And then if she wants stories, then that's when you go to Team Fitfluence and say, hey, I have somebody that's diabetic and is asking about the 21-day fix program. And you get somebody on our team that has a story that says, oh, yep, I'm totally diabetic, or my mom's diabetic and she did it with great success, or it helped her with this. So that you can then attach a story to it to make it a little bit more personal, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Tanya, anything else you want to add to all that nonsense?
Nope.
No. No, not at all. The reason, guys, the other reason that it's so important that we talk Shakeology is because if we're all drinking it, it's because we believe in it. We think it's good for us. We're noticing some benefits. We understand that. We need to not be afraid to share about Shakeology with other people. Now, I know the two of you on here and most of you people that are going to watch this are going to say, yeah, $130 a month is freaking expensive for a shake, okay? I thought the same thing until I started watching the videos and I started reading the research. Because once you understand what goes into making the shake, you're like, oh, crap, this stuff is wicked cheap. So not that you're going to convince somebody else that it's not expensive. I mean, our job isn't to do that. We just need to provide the facts. But the more you see and understand about how Shakeology is made, that it's not this mass-produced chemical crap storm, that they're going to the farthest ends of the earth to bring the purest, best foods into the shake. Once you start to understand those things, not that you have to give all of that information to a prospect, but you feel a lot more comfortable sharing about it. And I think that's what's most important for us to educate ourselves so that you feel more confident. Because let me tell you, when I first started, I was like, oh, this stuff is expensive. I feel your pain. And I would do my best to still try to get people on it. But come on, if you don't fully understand and appreciate it, it's really hard. Now, the other thing I wanted to share, when I invite people to challenge groups, people do not, in my challenge groups, have to be drinking Shakeology. Here, let me take it off of this. Sorry. You don't need to see screen share anymore. People don't have to be on Shakeology to be in my challenge groups. However, I don't offer them to not be on Shakeology. And what I mean is when I talk to people and they express interest and they say, okay, well, what does this mean? What do I have to do? I say, well, there's a few different, I let them know there's a few options, but the option that I recommend, the way that I suggest you do this is, and typically, now depending on who it is, it might be different, but I'll tell them, I recommend that you get this incredible package deal that's going on right now. I always let them know what's going on right now. It has been extended through the end of 2017. So I let them know there's this incredible deal. You're going to get a full year of streaming to everything Beachbody has, plus stuff that you can't get on DVD, plus a cooking show, plus all this amazing stuff for a full year. And then I let them know you're also going to get the portion fix container. So you're going to have a hard copy of that nutrition plan so that even though you can access it on your computer, you'll have a hard copy with containers. You know, so I throw that in next. I say, and then you're going to get a full month of Shakeology. And I tell them, I always recommend that everybody does Shakeology for at least the first month. And the reason is because for me, it was game changing. For me, that's when I saw breakthrough and started seeing changes. I recommend it because the customers that I've had that have done Shakeology and a program and the nutrition plan all together have had more success faster and sustained it longer because it just has. So, you know, I make sure I give those bullets. And then I let them know it also is going to help as you're starting a new routine and a new program and a new way of eating. It's going to give your body the nutrients it needs to function the way it needs to be at its best. It's going to help you feel fuller longer and have less cravings, so you're not going to want to be putting the junk in your body. You're going to have the energy that you need to sustain you through the day and sustain you through this new workout program. And then I tell them, and there's a whole lot of other things it's going to do. But when I'm talking about the nutrition piece, that's what I want them to hear. Like, they're like, oh, cool. I'm not going to need as much chocolate, right? And that's kind of where I go. Now, if they come back one of the questions people will always come or tell me is, I don't do shakes. Don't just say, okay, well, you don't have to do a shake. You know, dig, ask them a question. A lot of our struggles when we're trying to talk to prospects and get them to, you know, purchase a plan is we don't ask the question, right? I mean, they say, I don't do shakes. And you're like, okay, cool. So I always ask, well, why is it that you don't do shakes? What is it about shakes you don't do? Now, I've had people that they've had, they can't physically have shakes because of some different surgeries and whatnot they've had. Other people have, Liz, it was you. Your aunt has crazy allergies to everything in the shake. You know, so somebody might have allergies. You need
Right.
we can look up the allergy information. But other people just say, well, I like to eat my food, or I don't believe in shakes. That's my favorite. I don't believe in shakes. I'm like, what didn't you believe about them? They're right there. Like, I drink it every day. It exists. You know, like, what is it about it so that you can then answer the questions? Like, I let them know, dude, do I look like somebody that doesn't like to eat food? Like, I eat my food. This is not replacing a meal for me. I'm adding this into my world. This is a snack. And it's real food. Actually, it's 70 foods, right? So you just have to keep digging, because sometimes there's that crazy misconception out of the gate that it's something that it's not. I'm trying to think what else. Always people talk about cost, right? Stop breaking it down as $130 a month. Don't tell people it's $130 a month. Tell them it's $4 a day. Right? I tell them it's about $4 a day, because depending on how they're getting it. Now, if they're getting it in combination with this, with the challenge pack, it's less for that first month, but break it down for them. It's about $4.50 a day. You know, is your health worth $4 a day? I mean, you might get ballsy depending on the conversations you've had with them. But break it down that way, because when you're like, oh, it's $4.50 a day, but I'm not going to be eating. Like, I had a girl that figured it out on her own and was like, hey, I want this shake thing because instead of stopping at Sonic for my breakfast burrito, I think this is probably healthier for me and it'll be about the same price. And I'm like, sure will. Sure will. Your breakfast burrito with Diet Coke or a Shakeology. You know, so when you break it down, it makes it a little bit more manageable and a little bit more real. And it's like, oh, yes, $130 sounds like a lot, but then when you break it down, you know, I don't know, are you guys Froofy Starbucks people? Like, what is a crappy mochaccino thing go for, these small ones?
Oh yeah, like close to $5.
Yeah, so unless you're getting like the boring coffee that I drink. So anyway, that's kind of where it breaks down. That's the main stuff I wanted you guys to hear and understand and think about Shakeology. As you're having conversations with people, like, shoot me a message, pop it in the thread, like, hey, I don't know where to go with this. One of the good things and bad things when we do Messenger is they disappear sometimes. When you're in the middle of a conversation, you're like, where the hell did you go? Come back to me. Like, we were talking, you left for 3 weeks. Liz has done that many times. But
That's me.
she does that to me. She's done it to me many times. But it also is good for you, because as you're figuring out the answers and learning what to say, like, don't ever give misinformation, but like, you can pause and think before you respond, right? Like, if you're not right on the phone, if you are talking to somebody on the phone and you don't know or you're not sure, be like, hey, you know what? I know I love this stuff and I know I feel great, but I don't know the answer to that. Can I get back to you? And then you get the answer and get back to them.
Yeah.
You know, don't make stuff up with this. It's bad. It's a bad idea. Bad idea. What I miss? What burning questions are inside your soul? Tanya's like, I don't know. Tanya,
I'm tired. What?
I need a picture with you on here, because I had one with Liz with our dueling hats.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me get one. Ready? Wow, that was super fuzzy. Let me try again. Do-do-do-do. I know, we're like, one. Okay, got it.
When?
When?
Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording. So don't you guys go. Guys, that's it for tonight. We will be back same time next week. Of course, I'll record it. If you are looking to work your business, it's really essential that you try to get on this. If this is not a good time, but you want to be working your business and participating, make sure you let me know so we can figure out a time, because as this team grows, this is going to be an essential place to get information, ask questions, get all the tools and resources that you need to feel like you can move forward in a really good, solid way. So with that, I'm going to say good night and stop the recording.